Hello and welcome once again to the Willow Tech channel. What time? My name's Paul Marriott. 3 parts to today's video. The first part is going to be having a look at 4 alternatives to the Nvidia Shield TV home screen launcher. In fact, any Android TV box's launcher can be altered in the way that we're going to be looking at today. Second part of the video, we're going to have a look at some 2 or 3 quick tips. The first one to solve this little problem, and the second one to show you how to set your default launcher. And finally, in the last part, we'll have a showcase of some of the work that some of the people in the Nvidia Shield TV Tips and Tricks group over on Facebook have produced. In those immortal words of 1,000 YouTubers, with all that being said, let's get stuck in. What time? Willow Tech time. The first launcher we're going to look at is TV Launcher. It's a very simple launcher to use, simple to configure, very easy. You can set up categories and it's quite fun to use, really. One of the nice things you can do about it, as you can see, is the background here that's moving around. It's a live wallpaper, if you'd like to call it that. It's not really, because you're quite limited in the choice that you can put on there. Okay. Against it, you can't add content channels like you can in the standard Nvidia Shield home screen. It's not as configurable as some of the competition, and there's no search button and no power buttons, so for me it's not the best. In its favour, you can set up categories. At the top there, I've called my first one Team Streams. Then I've got Coding and Chips, Game and Fame, Store and Explore, Apps Chaps, Launchpad. Okay, let's go back to let's say Store and Explore, and you can see I've got a number of apps in there. Games and Fame, all quite configurable. One of the nice things you can do with this app is you can set up custom tiles. So if we long click, for example, on Real Racing, it comes up with choice. You can reposition it, you can create a tile. Let's not dwell on this one and move on to the next one. Okay, next one up, Sideload Channel. Rather nice launcher, this one. You can set custom backgrounds, which you can't do in some others, like the Android TV home launcher or the Nvidia Shield TV standard launcher. You can set up rows and channels just as you can in the Nvidia TV Shield, but you can actually configure these to put your own particular apps into each of those. Taking this first one, you can even make mini folders. So that first one is a square icon, but inside that I've got 3 other apps. Okay, let's come out of that. You also got rectangular tiles. That one is just one app configured to that one, as with that one, that one, that one, that one. With this one, you can this is a tile with, again, with a folder, if you like, with various apps in it, and there you go, various apps that you can go into. Tiles and row sizes are quite configurable. You can make them bigger to fill out the screen more, or you can compress them to make them smaller, and so get more on your screen. Some people prefer a nice busy screen with everything on the home screen. Others prefer to scroll down. Tile images in this case come from icon packs, custom made images, and even from the apps themselves. So those are from the apps themselves, and I've configured this particular screen with basically icon apps and custom images. One of the nice things about this app, you can do multi-backups. You can back up again and again and again. There is a problem with restoring backups, which I'll come into at a later date. As with all of these launchers, Sideload Channel lets you come down to see all apps. which are all listed there. And it does list all apps that you have, unlike the Shield launcher that doesn't show everything that you have side-loaded. A negative point: backups with URL images don't work very well. There is an issue there that I'll talk about when we do the tutorial for Sideload Channel. One thing I really like about Sideload Channel is that you can put these rows or channels onto your home screen of the standard Nvidia Shield home screen I'm talking about, not the Sideload Channel home screen. So if we press the home button, and there you have the Sideload Channel channels. That's a bit of a mouthful. The Sideload Channel channels on the home screen. So moving on to the HALauncher or HALauncher. Not sure how it's supposed to be said. Similar to Sideload Channel, we've got rows which are configurable. You can put your own apps into them. You can give them category names and so on and so forth. You can also configure backgrounds as you can with the other one. However, here you can configure a background on a per row basis. You can even configure a background on a per app basis. Anyway, we'll have a look at that. So first one, we've got Team Stream Dreams there, and as you can see, the background is some Androidy type thing. If we move down to the Kodi and chips layer, the background has changed to a Kodi type background. Games, we've got the gaming controller there on the background, and again moving down we have backgrounds changing, and then when we get to here you can even have as I move on to the shutdown menu, the background, I've got that configured to its own little individual background, and that will take you straight into the power dialog. That's something you don't have on Sideload Channel, although you do have on Sideload Channel, you do have the settings menu which you can go into by, and when you press on the settings menu that takes you to, of course you've got the power dialog there, but it's not the same, is it? As when you want to have that quick out, you can just go straight to the power dialog, cutting out one step, and then those other settings are for configuring the app. All in all, a very nice little app, this one, very nice launcher. Got the search button that I have never managed to get to work properly, and highly configurable. What more can I say? We can also go into show all apps, and as it says, we actually do see all the apps we have on the system. Some are even duplicated there. Not sure why that might be. Okay, if we escape out of there, back to the home screen. Okay, SquareHome2 demo. Pretty much like all the other launchers, this one has something that's different in that we can have a number of screens configured. So if we go into there, we've got I've got three screens configured, one with streaming, one with games, and one with general utilities. Okay, and then you just choose whichever one you want. So if we stay on if we want to go to the utility channel, there we go, utility channel, utility page, and once again we can show the pages, go back to the home channel. The main difference with this one compared to the previous two that we've looked at is that you don't have rows of apps. You just have tiles that you place around the screen, and of course they can be various sizes, as you can see from what we've got here. I put a lot of utilities down the bottom to open the menu, to go into the menu to configure it. We've got, as with the previous launchers, we've got the show all apps button there, which we're just on now, and we can show all apps. There we go. Once again, this one does show all apps, unlike the Nvidia Shield TV launcher, which is a pain in the butt. Okay, we can go into settings, we can configure it to go into settings. That's the same as the other two previous launchers. But there's one thing that you can do here, is the power button, just as on HALauncher, but not on Sideload Launcher. We can go into the power button. Now, this is where we have a problem. SquareHome2 must be enabled in the accessibility services to use this feature on the device. Okay, so we say OK to that, and let's go into services. Let's go into settings, and this is going to cause a problem. Let me demonstrate. We go into accessibility, and we give accessibility to SquareHome2, enable. Now, okay, let's come out of there, and we're back into SquareHome2. Now that power button will work. There we go, we've got the power dialog. Great, but there is a catch to this one. If we go back to the Nvidia Shield home screen, and then go to click on anything at all, anything we want to select. Let's just say we want to go into YouTube. We click on it, and this dialog comes up. That has been caused directly by the accessibility function that we've just enabled. So this is something other apps sometimes cause, and people are asking in the forums, in the groups, how do I get rid of this? Well, it's usually because you've just enabled something in accessibility. So the way to get rid of it is to go into settings, go back into settings, come back down to accessibility, come down to SquareHome2, which is enabled, disable it, okay, come out again, come out again, come out again. Then let's come back down to SquareHome as where we were. SquareHome, that's that one. We go into there, and it was on the power button that we had, power dialog, that we had the problem. So now it won't work. Catch 22. So an altogether different look, no rows and channels as we had in the previous two launchers, but what you have is a very configurable launcher here. You can put your own background, configure your own background, customized background. The tiles can have their own modded either icon packs or homemade tiles. Some of these are homemade, others are from an icon pack, some are just from the app. Open the menu, and you have the backup center there, backup center, and you can do a number of backups, as many as you like. General tools, toggle page to edit, and that's about it. The two negatives of SquareHome Launcher for me are the that accessibility problem with the power button, power dialog, and it is a little bit complicated to when you first start off with it. However, it is very configurable. Okay, now let's just say we wanted to set one of these launchers as our default launcher. Because as it is at the moment, every time we've hit the home button, we go back to the home page on the standard Nvidia Shield TV launcher, like this. Home button, and there we go, back to the home page. Okay, so let's just say we want to set it to HALauncher. So what do we do? Well, first of all, we have to know which is our default launcher at the time, which is obviously the Android TV home launcher. So what we do is we go to settings and apps, and then once in apps we need to scroll all the way down to whichever app we are currently using as the default launcher. In this case it's the Android TV home launcher. Now that doesn't appear in all the installed apps just at this point. You have to scroll right the way down to all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, down, till we get to the system apps, which include the Android TV home launcher. We go into there, we go into there, we go into there, and we clear defaults. Okay, that will do it. Come back out. So once we're back out of settings, we want to set the launcher to the home, default home. We'll press the home button and the dialog will come up. So if we want to use the Android TV home as home, we'll press always. If we want to use the SquareHome, then we have to do the following. We have to say click on SquareHome, we'll bring it up, press home again, and then this time we'll use it always. Now if we shut the system down, come back up again, it'll come straight into SquareHome2. Okay, now to clear that I obviously have to go back into settings, right down settings, apps, this time it'll be SquareHome because we're in SquareHome that has that set. Let's come down to SquareHome, we've got a lot of apps here. SquareHome2, clear defaults. Okay, come out of that. Now we're going to go back and reset it to the Android home, and then hit home again, and this time always. So now it's reset back to Android home as the main home default home screen launcher. Okay, hope that's been a help to you. Now it's time to have a look at some of the very detailed work that's been done by members of the Nvidia Shield TV tips and tricks and a whole lot more group from Facebook. And seriously, there's some fantastic work here. I don't want to single out anyone in particular, they're all great. So no more of me rambling, let's get on with it.